Welcome back to TapHere. We are live here at Money 2020, of course. And the people that are always best to bump into at faraway places are your actual neighbors. And here today, fellow Torontonian, fellow Canadian, Tim Burgess. He is the CEO of TokenWell Platforms. Tim, first of all, thanks for joining us. Why are you here?
We're here to meet partners.
Okay.
And a focus on U.S. partners.
Okay. And what is it that you do?
We have a crypto index basket platform. And what that is we offer index-like baskets just with crypto tokens that retail and institutional investors can buy on our app.
So what I'd like to hear a little bit more about is exactly where some of the opportunities lie in some of the types of investors that you just mentioned. What does this give them that another type of platform may not in terms of like the investment process?
Well, let's look at the exchanges by and large.
Okay.
The big crypto exchanges, Coinbase, Crypto.com, Binance, and so on. They offer buying and selling of tokens by and large.
Right.
Whereas what we offer is professional index baskets for retail investors. For example, they don't know what tokens to buy. So give them a passive opportunity to buy a product like we have a partnership with CoinDesk to buy the CoinDesk 20. They can buy 20 tokens in one basket, and we rebalance it for them so that they don't have to worry about it. And they get crypto exposure because most individual investors, they know Bitcoin, they know Ethereum, but after that, they don't know what to buy.
No, for sure. And I mean, I think that's been one of the issues, especially with some more, I would say, conservative retail investors and institutional who are looking to get into digital currencies, but at the same time, don't want to kind of jump in there. So the basket, how does that work? So what can just maybe talk us through a little bit of the technicals there?
Sure. So the CoinDesk 20 is a well-known index. Mm-hmm. They've designed it, they run it. So what we do is we basically clone that index on our platform. So you come in, you got $500, you want to buy the CoinDesk 20.
Yeah.
You click a couple buttons, it goes to your exchange and buys those 20 coins that are in that index for you. And then you can keep track of it and see how it's performing on TokenWell.
Nice.
And we rebalance it automatically.
Okay. And yeah, you mentioned that before. So when you say rebalance, like what does that mean exactly at the end of the month?
Indexes, like even all indexes have a rebalancing interval. In the case of the CoinDesk 20, it rebalances every quarter. So every quarter, they look at the index and they want to have a certain weight in each coin, roughly not 5%, but on average 5% in each coin.
Okay.
If one coin goes up a lot, then they reduce that coin and they rebalance the proceeds into the coins that maybe went down to basically get back to the index weights.
Got it.
And that's what happens.
Okay. And the types of tokens, coins that are in the index itself, like are we talking about household names like Bitcoin, Ether, or is it a little bit more?
Well, in the CoinDesk 20, it's predominantly household names.
Okay.
Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, and a number of other altcoins will be in there.
Okay.
And they will change the weight also. They will once in a while pull coins out and replace coins.
Okay.
Just like the S&P 500, for example, in TradFi. Companies will come out, new companies will come in. It's the same with the CoinDesk 20.
So who are you trying to target exactly? Like obviously you want the people who want maybe, to have that exposure, but maybe not such a crazy exposure to one currency, but where specifically are your, ideal target markets?
We're focused on the US now.
Okay.
US is obviously a massive market.
Yeah.
But in particular, the type of user is really a very broad category. Other than the junkies like my social media guy Curtis here, who buys the meme coins, most people that want crypto exposure want to put 5 to 10. I would say 5 to 10% of your portfolio in crypto is about right. They don't really know what to buy. Even myself, I was a hedge fund manager before I became CEO of this company.
Yeah.
I don't really know what to buy past Bitcoin and Ethereum and Solana. It's hard to evaluate.
Exactly.
So if you want more diversified exposure, I would say if you just took a survey of people that are just off the street and they want crypto, they're not going to know what to buy.
So just crypto. Yeah, exactly. So I want digital assets. I want something that's going to basically offset or be complementary or maybe a hedge in my own portfolio. So here's my question for you. It's a little bit different, but the first place I'd probably call is my advisor. I'd probably say, hey, what do you know, or what do you suggest I could do? So my question for you is, is that a target market for you?
It is a target market, definitely, and for the advisors.
Yeah.
Most advisors these days rely on professional money, and we're professional index baskets.
Right.
So it's the same thing. And if you ask those advisors the same question, what tokens to buy, I bet most of them are going to say, I have no idea.
Exactly.
So
mine included. Yeah.
So they want to get their clients into crypto, buy a TokenWell basket.
Right.
You get diversification. You get a professional company running it like CoinDesk, and you at least you get exposure. You're not going to get blown up by one. You buy one token.
No, because you've got
20 tokens, and you've got a lot of the bigger ones in there.
All right, I personally got to check it out. Exactly.
Yeah.
So I want to sort of focus a little bit, not so much on the Canada thing, but we're both from there.
Yeah.
And yet we both, I think, see that there's a much larger marketplace and opportunity. Talk to me about what it's like to be in Canada, but also be focused on an international marketplace.
Well, Canada is a great place to run a company. It's a nice environment. You've got access to some good developers, some good technology people in Canada. But you really need to go outside in crypto where the bigger markets are, like in the United States, globally, bigger crypto markets are there. And also, unfortunately, with Canada, there's a high regulatory hurdle to running a business like ours, which we can do that. We can add more regulation to our product to be in Canada.
Yeah.
But there's a significant cost to doing that, and it's almost a barrier to entry for smaller companies in Canada, unfortunately.
It's interesting because I do see you guys as being, at least in part of this sort of larger fintech ecosystem, this area, or this group of companies or industry in Canada that should be doing well and yet can be hindered somewhat. And I'm wondering if you're finding yourself a little bit caught in that.
Well, we would like to be open in Canada with our app, and the only way we can get around it more quickly is to do a B2B deal.
Okay.
We could take our platform and put it right at an exchange. And I know a number of the Canadian exchanges, and maybe that opportunity will present itself at some point. Mm-hmm. But even for the exchanges to add us, they have to go through a bit of a regulatory hurdle themselves to add our products as it currently stands. So I'll come back. I believe in protection for investors, but at the same token, no pun intended.
I like that. The pun's there. It's good.
You want to set up a situation where smaller companies, more innovative technology companies can actually get going. And I think the regulatory setup, unfortunately, in Canada makes it difficult.
Sure.
Unfortunately.
I wonder, and just a side question related to that, but obviously the regulation here in the US has been scaled back dramatically, especially over this past year with Trump and with a lot of the different changes that have taken place. Has that kind of just added to it, or is that one of the reasons why it's so difficult in the first place?
What's happened in the US hasn't made any difference to the way Canada's set up. Canada really hasn't, from what I can see, hasn't really changed their tune. But definitely what the United States is doing is very progressive for the crypto market. And obviously that's one reason why we're really focused on the US.
Of course, yeah. Because
they're making the market bigger. They're going to make the US. The US historically was not a leader in crypto because of too much regulation. Mm-hmm. But the Trump administration has opened that up and reduced the regulatory burden, and also in the process of putting in some new laws like the Genius Act that are going to even open it up further and make the United States a great place to do business. Thus we're here.
Yeah.
Thus we're here.
That's great. So going back, they're taking a couple steps back, not physically, but tell me more about TokenWell itself. So where and how did it start? And you mentioned you were in the hedge fund business. I'm familiar with the hedge fund business. I'm just curious, like how you went from there to here.
Well, the company actually started, I ran a quantitative hedge fund. And after I left and closed that hedge fund, I said, what else do I want to do? And so I decided to start a technology company focused on quantitative systems. And we were actually running portfolios on the S&P 500.
Okay.
We ran those for a while, and the bottom line, they didn't perform up to expectations. So we decided to pivot into crypto and build algorithms for the crypto market. And that was the genesis of the predecessor company to TokenWell.
And time frame wise, what are we talking there? A couple of years?
It's been a long haul.
Long haul, okay.
We incorporated the predecessor company to TokenWell in June of 2020.
Okay, yeah, it's like a 5-year.
People think startups are overnight success.
Yeah,
no, they're not.
Wow, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Now, my understanding as well is that TokenWell is publicly traded. Yeah.
Correct.
Which exchange?
We trade on the CSE, Canadian Stock Exchange, which is a venture exchange in Canada.
Okay.
And the symbol is TWEL.
Great.
T-WEL.
And part of that, I think, leads to my question, which was like, how do you get your funding? Do you have people you're partnering with, or is it really just the public float that's helping you right now?
We were able to, basically there was an RTO of the predecessor company into TokenWell in August.
Okay.
And at the same time, there was a $2 million financing done. So the public has financed the TokenWell, and if you give a little credit to the Canadian regulators, the Canadian Stock Exchange, they did approve our transaction, and we became a listed company on their exchange.
That's great.
So the money came from the public. That's where the money came from.
And what's the plan going forward? Do you want more capital? Do you really just want people to get in there and sign up? I should even ask, like, how does it work? How do you guys make money?
Well, on the capital side, of course, we're a public company. We're going to keep raising money. Being a public company is expensive, and also just funding a growth strategy, a marketing strategy, spending money on social media, that takes capital. So we're going to
be pointing to Curtis over here. Yeah,
pointing to the guy who's going to spend the money. We're going to raise more money. The way the company makes money currently is revenue shares, and one of the key revenue shares we currently have is with Crypto.com.
Okay.
Not a bad size. Exchange.
I've heard of it.
You heard of them?
Yeah.
We have a revenue share deal with Crypto.com.
Okay.
And we're in the process of doing additional revenue shares with other exchanges, a lot of them actually in the US.
Amazing.
And I'm not going to mention their names right now.
I was just going to ask you though, really? Okay, fair. But I mean, that's part of why I'm assuming that you are here in part to not necessarily find them, I'm sure you know who they are, but to discuss some of the opportunities that might exist around that.
We are here to find more exchange partners.
I hear you.
That's the key. Find exchange partners that want to do B2C deals, and also if we can find one that wants to do a B2B deal, as I was saying, where we push our product right at the exchange and get into the funnel of their tens of millions of users, that'll allow us to grow much more quickly.
Performance-wise, and this is just literally popping in my head as we speak.
Yeah.
Can you speak to that at all? Like, do you have, like, when you look at the indexes themselves, how do they perform?
Well, indexes tend to, like Bitcoin will drive the performance of the crypto market. So there's a high correlation to Bitcoin.
Okay.
But actually, I don't have the exact numbers off the top of my head, but the CoinDesk 20, back to the CoinDesk 20, has outperformed Bitcoin this year.
A certain percentage of people, and this includes my mom, say, don't touch this stuff if you don't understand it. What's your response to that?
My response is, if you look at some studies, if you added crypto to your portfolio over the last 10 years in a small weight, 5 to 10%, you would have outperformed a balanced stock and bond portfolio by about 4% per annum. So it's a significant increase in performance with having crypto in your portfolio. And the other thing I would say is most people's portfolios contain bank stocks, a high financial weight.
Yeah.
And if the banks get hit for some sort of credit reason, Bitcoin always outperforms. Because remember, Bitcoin doesn't have anything on the liability side of its balance sheet. Unlike banks, they have liabilities on the balance sheet. And the other thing that has liabilities on the balance sheet is the U.S. dollar. If the U.S. dollar weakens significantly, Bitcoin will outperform.
Yeah, which everyone's waiting to happen. Yeah.
Well, actually, even this year, the U.S. dollar is underperforming.
Yeah, it's strong, but I understand. Yeah, it's like it's not as strong, or it's not as strong as others.
Well, the market is up about 15%, the stock market, but I think the U.S. dollar is down 10 to 15% this year.
Is it down? Okay,
it's
I
down.
really should probably check.
Yes, it's underperforming. The U.S. dollar is underperforming right now.
You know what it is? It's relative to the Canadian dollar, because ours is even worse. There you go.
We're staying the same.
Yeah.
We're performing like the U.S. We're tied very close to we can't avoid that.
Sadly, yeah, for sure. So, look, I think it's really great. If you're looking forward and what you actually want to kind of be in the next, say, 2 to 3 years, what's your vision? What's your vision for TokenWell?
Our vision is to, like on a market cap basis, grow this into $100 million plus company.
Mm-hmm.
And get to within a year? Give me like a timeline.
I don't know. Let's say, what are we in, 2025, 2027?
2020, by 2027, we want to get to 500,000 users by 2027.
All right. How many now?
We're basically in the infancy area. We just rebranded and relaunched the app. So it's early days.
Fair. And by the way, just to sort of, be on the same level, I mean, we probably have like 25 subscribers right now, and we're hoping to grow too. So there you go.
25? Okay, well.
No, I'm joking. I mean, yeah, it's low, but we all want to grow is my point. And I appreciate your time.
We can grow together.
There you go. Yeah, absolutely.
We can do this again. Let's do this. Let's do this again in 6 months.
Okay.
Let's do it again.
You got it.
And hopefully then by 6 months, I can say we have 2,000 users, 3,000 users.
And these kind of deals and, these kind of arrangements with these exchanges.
A B2B deal.
Yeah.
If we do a B2B deal, then the numbers could just accelerate. We could be at 10, 20,000 users very quickly.
And I still feel like maybe this is for down the road or for some other business development guy who has the connection. But I feel like there's all these, investment banks and firms with like hundreds, if not thousands of advisors. Again, I don't want to push the advisors too much, but there's got to be something there.
You're onto something.
Yeah. I'm not the one to lead it, but
I've had other people telling us we should do this.
Yeah.
And it's something we might do. And actually, I think the best way to do that would be a partnership with a dealer.
Sure.
With a big, maybe a U.S. dealer or something like that wants exposure to Web3 index baskets.
Right.
As opposed to just being on TradFi. Because if, for example, if you buy an ETF, it trades during the week, but it only trades during market hours, and it doesn't trade on the weekends.
Right.
Whereas we trade 24/7 all the time.
Right. Of course.
We're open with Web3, and that's the modern setup of crypto.
Yeah. I had one more question I realized I should have asked before. So in terms of other types of products that you might be looking to potentially roll out, are there any?
Well, it's all going to be in the index basket realm, but we're going to come up with some unique strategies. We've got one provider that's working on a unique exclusive strategy for us.
Okay.
And we have a quantitative hedge fund that may build an inflation protection index.
Interesting. Okay.
So we're going to add a lot more product to the platform.
All right. So more to talk about in 6 months. Yeah. Sounds great.
Lots of stuff going on.
Really appreciate you taking the time to talk to us. Really, thank you.
Well, thanks very much.
Oh, thank you. And now for the legalese. The information provided in this podcast is for educational and informational purposes only and does not constitute financial investment or legal advice. Always do your own research and consult with a licensed financial advisor before making any investment decisions. Past performance is not indicative of future results, and all investments carry risk. The views expressed are those of the hosts and the guests and do not necessarily reflect those of any affiliated organizations.